All right, hi guys, welcome. Today, myself and Kyle, we're going to be taking a look at some before and afters of what we were able to do and what F3 does. Hi, I'm Chris Euchre. I am the regional manager for Team Foxtrot at F3.
And I'm Kyle Brock. I'm the regional manager of Team Charlie and Team Tundra here at F3. F3, we are a restaurant technology company. We deal with POS implementation, but we also provide other IT services. Day in the life for us is going out to a restaurant and flipping their old system into something new and hopefully cleaning up some messes along the way.
All right, so this first one, I walked in and was checking out the old system and what we were dealing with there, and this just, wow, like, it's not even an Italian restaurant, but it had a ton of spaghetti going on. There's wires everywhere. It was just a conglomeration of just a mess. And the things that immediately caught my eye were the cable management coming to the area. Like, they had it nicely ran to the area, and then once we got here, we just forgot or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I see some bread boxes there. I see what looks like an 8-port switch, an old system, probably running like Windows 8. You know, they do have a UPC, which is cool. Or UPS, I'm sorry. Which, you know, that's always the hallmark of someone that kind of cares. Let's see. Yeah, VGA cable. So, like, was this all the old system's runs going into this 8-port?
It was at least most of them, but not all of them. Yeah, I'm not even 100% sure why either. It made zero sense. Like, those runs coming down, those are coming to other terminals, but then on the wall there's wall-mounted jacks from before that are going back to the main networking area, which are unused for the most part. It was confusing, to say the least.
Yeah, this looks like the messy ponytail of restaurants. Like, they're so straight. They got all these like little guides screwed into the wall. Looks like the nice ones that they actually screw in. And they got here and they're just like, all right, we got there, we're good.
Right.
Kind of let it all bundle up there. Yeah, I don't even recognize this POS system. Like, you know, I'm pretty good at understanding. What is this Post-it note on the power?
I don't even remember. Like, that's the thing. It was just like, look at this. The keyboard and the mice too. They were mandatory. Not all the touch screens worked. So that was one more little thing. They didn't just have them there because they didn't like using touchscreen. They didn't always work. And kicker, the system was put in less than 3 months before I got there. I think it was.
Wow.
Yeah. So it wasn't even like it's been there for years or anything like that. Like, it was just recently done.
Wow. This is one of those situations where I do love saving the USB keyboards because you can't use them with our system as well. So if they're used to that, you know, we can always at least give them that. The mouse, not so much.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You love to see it.
Yeah, it was almost like it was too easy to clean it up. It was so empty there, and it was all on that metal countertop that, like, it just didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, no, like, it's night and day. And like, was this old system, was this like the server, or was like every station a full PC?
Every station was a full PC.
So yeah, I'm sure they didn't even know what to do with all this new space.
No, they were instantly ecstatic about it. Like, as soon as I got the old one out of there, before I even got like toast put in there, it was night and day. And this was one of my first ones that I got to do the Toast 3s as well. So I was super stoked on top of it. And then to be able to go from that mess beforehand to these fresh, clean, like, it was perfect. It was perfect in my eyes.
Yeah, and it's like, my favorite detail here is that you're actually using the little bread box there, not all these other cables that were running everywhere. Was it like, not a star topology, what would you call it, where there's redundancies that we had to like connect, like all the computers had to be connected in such a way, like kitchen printers had a route to a station and all that?
No, there was none of that before.
No?
It was
it just looked like a mess.
Yeah, I honestly think that somebody didn't care to take the time to trace any of the other lines. They're like, oh, this line works, just throw a switch in there. That's fine. Bring it all here. That's fine. Like I really think it came down to laziness. But the Post-it note, whatever that Post-it note was, I left it there. It must have been important enough.
It's a load-bearing Post-it note. Do not stick fork. Oh man.
I mean, honestly, like being involved with it, making sure that whoever you have running your lines, whether it's you're hiring an outside company or you're doing it yourself, just knowing and doing it correctly the first time. Because as soon as you start going to Home Depot and buying a 100-foot patch cable and plugging it in here, plugging it in there, and making it work, as soon as you start doing that, you get down that slippery slope of just continuing to do that because it gets too much. And just like the before pictures, like I think anybody looking at that doesn't know what they're doing is just going to be completely overwhelmed just looking at that. And you, at that point, once you're overwhelmed, you can't. There's no going back.
Yeah, for me, it's like something I wish I could tell every client, just in general, is in this day and age, your network infrastructure is probably the second or third most important part of your business. And when I walk in and I see that kind of stuff, I just worry, like, how many sales have we lost because of connectivity issues? How many services have ground to a halt? Like, it's worth investing in, like, getting a low voltage tech in there just to make sure your runs are labeled, simple, easy to diagnose and follow. Because yeah, more often than not, some days we walk in and it is that perfect situation, but a lot of the time with customers, it's more like, our before shots here, where it's just, we spend more time diagnosing and untangling cables than we do actually installing the equipment. And, we're people who do this for a living, so I can't imagine a client who has to do this figuring that out on their own.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, this is at an Irish pub, actually pretty close to my neighborhood. They had the same system for, I think, 15 or 20 years. Back in high school, I used to do roofing with my uncles. And, we would get to a site and, we would take off the cap. And we'd pretty quickly realize that the last 3 people who had done this roof, instead of taking off all the shingles and doing everything the right way, had just put new shingles on top of old shingles. And it makes the job of tearing it down that much harder. That's what we're looking at here, is 3 different management teams all coming in here and leaving their mark, not in a great way. This was just a mess of cables, most of which weren't even plugged into anything. That was my favorite part. Like, at the very bottom of this, there was a 5-port switch, which you're actually, I believe, able to reuse. They did have UPSs, once again, like, if you can afford them, which you certainly can, please buy them. Those are super crucial. My favorite detail was finding a full carton of Marlboro Lights just in there. When I asked the manager whose those were, she said, I don't know. They've just been there since I've been here. She had been there for like 8 years.
Wow. Yeah. That totally makes sense that there's just cables on top of cables not plugged in. Like that was a perfect kind of comparison there, that we just kind of left it there. We unplugged it because we need the power cable, and we just left it there because it's easier than like removing it sometimes, or just, I don't know what this is, I'm just going to leave it there. And probably a lot of the staff is thinking the same thing. Like, this is above my head. I don't know what this is. I don't want to mess anything up. I'm not going to unplug this or move it because it might be crucial.
Yep.
And at that point, like you said, how many years and years and years it just builds up because nobody 100% knows what's going on, and it wasn't done right the first time or the second time.
Yep.
Or the third time.
And this is a kind of island bar. It'll be more evident in the after picture. So this area between the 2 registers just kind of became a catch-all, from my understanding. Like, I found so much like loose change. I think I found an ID card, if I remember correctly. Just all kinds of stuff that just got piled on over years and years. It was really like an archaeological site.
Oh, wow. I honestly thought that there was a mirror. So I'm looking at this picture thinking there's a mirror, and this is only like half the cables there probably is, because it's a mirror and it's reflecting. So you saying that there's actually double the cables and double the mess of what I realized.
Yeah.
Wow, I thought this was like a mirror, and we're looking at the back. Wow.
These are two guys back to back on different sides. So yeah, they made themselves a nice little, dumping ground for all kinds of things. And, obviously this is an older system too. So they have like the detached card readers, which have their own power supplies and their own runs. And yeah, it was a real nightmare. But I got the go ahead from them. I was like, do we really care about plugging any of this other stuff back in ever? And they said no. I'd already tested the network up to this point. Before I proceeded, I did find the run that came down here. Like I said, I unearthed the switch. So I verified that before we really went to town. But like after that, the actual owner and manager joined me because they were so happy to get rid of this giant mess.
I bet. I mean, that's just, you almost forget about it, but people do notice. Like people do notice how clean and how like professional that area looks, even if they don't 100%. Like when you're walking in, you're looking around, like people always notice the bathroom. If it's clean, they'll make mention of it. People will notice how this area looks. They might not talk about it with the other people they're there with, their family or anything like that. They might not say, oh yeah, you should go there, their POS system's really clean, as opposed to like the bathrooms maybe, but they're gonna notice, they're gonna get that feeling when they're looking around and they see this of, like, if that's how you treat that area, a vital part of your business, well, how are you treating the rest of your business?
Yep. What does that flat top look like? What do those fryers look like?
Exactly.
Yeah. And, the nice thing there with there being like, 8 tons of crap in there was actually some good stuff. There were 2 UPSs that we were able to utilize. There was a switch that you can kind of see down there as well. I wiped it off, some alcohol wipes, cleaned it up, and it was good to go. Another thing that we did retain there is this cash register, because especially like this coming week, it's St. Patrick's Day, and this is an Irish pub. They were like, yeah, we use that solely on St. Patrick's Day just for overflow, because they said that they do, $10,000 a night just in this bar area during those days. But yeah, no, we were able to get super cleaned up. Tried to, cable manage as best I could, tie things off so they can't get slopped over and start the whole process over again. But afterwards, they were super, super grateful. I guess for the manager especially, that had been like a big thorn in their side, was just like looking at that, dealing with that mess. Believe it or not, they had been having connectivity issues. So
yeah, like when I see this, it's night and day. Like this is how you set them up to be able to keep it this way. Like the expectation's been set. Everyone can see exactly how it should be, and they are less likely to use it as a catch-all. Like we're not going to throw our carton of smokes back on top of that because it looks great. This is well organized. Again, they still have that. I don't know what any of this does, but there's not just a mess of cables to like give it almost like a helmet that catches everything before it gets to the crucial infrastructure. Like you can see everything there. So it's a no-go zone. And again, like looking at this, like I would think that there's a mirror there almost, because both of them back to back, they look great. They mirror each other. The symmetry is there, which is pleasing to the eye. And I do like that old cash register still there. Like it adds a nice little touch, especially because it doesn't have that mess of cables around it. Like,
yeah,
it almost looks nostalgic now and not like more cluttered in with everything else.
Absolutely, yeah. And it still had a bunch of stickers that, just for the sake of, not being unprofessional, aren't on there. It's not shot from this side, but it still retains that character, and that's the real thing. There is like, this was able to, clean everything up. They have a nice, stable, awesome system, easy to troubleshoot. Now that they can see the switch, but they still got to retain that. And oftentimes, I do have, especially with like older bars, they're very sentimental about certain like items, stickers, magnets, and stuff like that. I always go out of my way when I am cleaning these areas up to be like, hey, is this important? Is this something, sometimes you'll find like a random dollar with some writing on it, or, an old sticker from a business I knew of like 10 years ago that doesn't exist anymore. Were we trying to keep these? Were these important? I don't think the carton of smokes was sentimental. I think that went right in the dumpster. But yeah, no, it was very satisfying too, because this was also the first time that they were able to fully clean their bar in the better part of a decade. So you can see like a nice little sheen there. I think you can even see one of the rags in the corner there a little bit.
Yeah, that's something that no matter how like clean the place is, sometimes around the POS system is not always attended to as much as it should be, because people are more afraid to move anything or touch anything, especially if it's a disaster. But when it's put together like this, clean, like you can see where everything goes, everything's nice and tight, it's like secure, then you can easily clean around it, clean on it, clean behind it, pick it up to move it. There's no confusion. You're not afraid that everything's going to be stuck there and you're not going to be able to move it to clean under it at this point.
Absolutely. And, you know, it does help that toast is about as straightforward as you can get. It's 2 plugs. And, you know, that's something I always emphasize with them. It's like, worst case scenario here, if you need to move this whole thing, you just have to plug in these 2 things and it's going to jump right back on and work. And yeah, no, I'll have to maybe go check on them this week, because it's going to be a crazy one for them. This was a place that had, I think, 3 different bars, 1 outside, and I think they had another cash register out on their outside bar as well that they're going to run in tandem. They're going to be, I'll say this, there's a reason I do take a day off on St. Patrick's Day. Things get nuts. Yeah, if you're a technician or even a restaurant person looking to dip your toe into the technology realm, and this is something you think that you'd be good at, please do visit f3tech.com/careers. We have opportunities all across the country.
All right. Thank you guys all for hanging out with us and watching the video. If you did enjoy this, make sure you do like, subscribe, and all that jazz so you can see more.